In a foreshadowing of what massive deportations look like, Venezuela is joining the Dominican Republic as a xenophobic state. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro shut the border with Colombia down after 3 soldiers were shot when they were looking for smugglers. Maduro has no plans to reopen the border anytime soon. This was followed by the Venezuelan government deporting around 1,000 Colombians in the past week. An estimated 5,000 more have voluntarily chosen to leave for fear of deportation while they can. Colombia President Juan Manuel Santos said this is a crisis. This is happening in Cucuta, a city in the border. And the root of the problem, well, Colombia and Venezuela had conflicts at the border for the last 30 years at least, on and off, for different reasons, mainly the transit of the guerrillas on this porous border. But this incident stems from smuggling, because Colombian smugglers go into Venezuela, buy subsidized goods for very cheap, and move them to the other side of the border where they can upmark them heavily. So Maduro, because he's not in the same situation, the country is not in the same situation that it was with Chavez. Chavez was really nice to immigrants. Really, he actually gave them healthcare, housing, granted citizenship to some of them, the right to vote, and now they're trying to backtrack that little by little, and in the meantime, let's violate a bunch of human rights laws.
Interesting, because Maduro's whole thing is, you know, I'm just another Chavez, you know, people like Chavez, so let me run on that, the tail end of that. But, you know, just to give you an idea, that illegal border crossing in that area, the trade between the two countries, it's not trade, the smuggling that goes on there is worth $5 billion annually. That's a lot of money. I mean, look, you said it, things are cheap in Venezuela, but they're so damn cheap. I mean, if you get gas, we're talking about a few cents a gallon in Venezuela, as opposed to over the border, a few dollars a gallon. So obviously people are going to be smuggling things in and out of these borders. 80% of the goods in Cucuta actually come from Venezuela. Imagine, 80% of the goods sold in all the markets in a city comes from smugglers who took it from the country next door. That's just amazing.
And the Venezuelan government has been really, really harsh. We have some pictures of how they round up the suspected smugglers. The tension is there. They're deporting Colombians. Obviously, the former president of Colombia, Uribe, came out and very angry and said, you know what, Maduro is just behaving like Hitler. Immediately, the Venezuelan internet took it to offense, created a hashtag, you know, attacking Uribe and supporting the deportations. So now we see that again, not only we have human migrations, not like it's happening in Europe and the Middle East, we have people that have been displaced either by the guerrilla or by climate change and accepted and now kicked out, and they're crossing the river with their things. Like literally we have families moving their whole belongings across a river. It's a very scary situation, and we don't see a lot of human rights protection going on right now. It's kind of just going on without no one saying stop.
Meanwhile, we have one of the guys who might be president of this country calling for things like that in this nation.
And the pictures are very clear of what entails to deport people. And we're talking about 10,000 people that have been deported in the last, in 2015.
11 million looks like.
Imagine that 11 times fold. It's crazy. Also, because of this crisis, Tom Cruise was doing his last film there, supporting Scientology Church in Colombia, and couldn't meet Santos because Santos was too concerned with this. I'm glad that he didn't make time to meet a Hollywood star and instead deal with this situation where we have thousands upon thousands of families displaced and with nowhere to go because they've been kicked out of a country that used to be familiar and friendly to them. We want to know how you feel, where do you stand on this issue. Let us know below, and please subscribe to the Lib TV 2.